in the room. We are here again. A late night service.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
The late night service, man. You know what the late night service do to the
Oh
spirits.
yeah. You get
Y'all
you
remember,
right.
dog? Do y'all remember that late night church service? Man,
What
9
you say the
o'clock.
late night church service? Yeah.
Man, 9 o'clock, New Year's Eve.
That's
Had
it.
to go to
Watch
that
the
late night
watch
service.
service, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your mama dragging you there. You like, well, man, I'm supposed to be in the teen club and
Man,
stuff,
what? Yep.
kicking it. My mama got me in here doing this booze. Man,
You man. Yeah. Man.
man.
That's a
Do
trip.
you?
But I ain't gonna even lie. It was some spiritual times in that church service, though, sometimes, man. What's
Yeah.
up, family?
I was gonna say, actually when we was there, we thought that was what it was about. You know what I'm saying? When that was our thing, you know what I'm saying? Especially as an adult, going to watch meeting and all of that for New Year's, you was like, that's what the world out there doing this and doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so like,
We thought we
yeah,
was super righteous.
we thought we was righteous.
We just knew we were gonna be
Praying
the first
Jesus for
ones to hear
2019. Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
bringing it in.
Look, in
Bring
there
it.
testifying and some more.
No, I had to repent at every New Year's service.
Yep.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Just laid out.
Yeah.
What
What's
they
up?
call
What's up, family? What's the deal, man? What's up, man? Y'all tell me what's up. What's up? Tarika, Indigo, what is it?
kind of got everything
Vika, what's
memorized.
up?
The things
Sean,
we want to
Matt,
mention.
Okay.
Denosis, Lakeisha, what's the deal? Leslie, King Twin Slim. Man, the
Peace,
room
family.
filling up
Peace.
fast. Doing
Everybody
her
in here with
thing, though.
us. Yeah.
Tyrone, what's up, Kalisha, man? And say, look,
Turn the volume up.
we're gonna have a powerful build tonight with
Yeah.
Campson and Ernest. It's going all the way up.
That's it.
Man, I'm talking about we're gonna dive into this soulmates thing. We're gonna give y'all these practical tips on how to
Mm-hmm.
build in relationships and spirituality. And we are gonna dive into what this whole thing boils down to.
That's it. Yeah.
Man, y'all like and share the video so people can come on in this room, man.
Like,
Real
share, and
free.
subscribe, people.
Yeah. Y'all know what it is.
Yes. Hold on. Hey, you said you need the tripod? Hold on. Yeah, man. But look, family, man, we had a powerful time with Khadijah and Panic.
Man.
Powerful time this weekend, man. The family showed out, showed some love.
There you
It was kind of crazy, because Mardi Gras was happening at the same time. The bill, who was all at the lecture with us? Y'all let us know in the chat room who was there. There was a lot of y'all out there. God dang. Man, my homegirl, Felicia, my sister, was out there with us.
Why we can't check?
Shout out to Fee. Who else was out? Oh, Conjure Queen was out there. Shit, we did the whole Conjure Queen showed us love, man. We was out there with her doing that Mardi Gras thing for real. She showed us the areas not to go, man. We partying, we drinking, we had a great time. Jamar Bob and his queen was out there.
Man.
That's what's up.
Yeah. We missed it.
Yeah, Venus with the Vibe was out there. B Wells was out there. He tried to run, man. B Wells, we're gonna have to build later on that. Man, it was going down, man. There was a lot of y'all out there, man. Y'all let me know if y'all was out there for real. Look, but
Can they hear us?
Can
y'all hear everything?
Huh? What happened?
Yeah, we was just making sure that it's coming through clear.
The audio on our end.
On our end.
Oh yeah, y'all in the building, yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's going. Y'all can hear him, family? Y'all let us know in the chat room if y'all can hear him. Look, it was going down in New Orleans.
Gang,
I'm
gang.
talking a whole nother level of things, man. It is what it is. But the lecture that Panic and Khadijah put on, man, was fabulous, awesome, fire.
Yeah.
And so much insight, so much knowledge, so much understanding that we're gonna dive into this thing again right now, tonight, with the family.
Look, and you can't take us too deep. We got 5 points that we want to discuss. We was like really thinking about this and meditating on this and doing rituals so that we could go as deep as possible, because I notice in the conscious community is just a lot of rhetoric. You keep hearing the same stuff over and over and over.
Yep.
And it's like, when can somebody bring something new that's a deeper insight into this?
That's right.
So we ready. Wherever you want to go, we can go there.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's gonna be a powerful build, yeah, because man, that's exactly what this thing is. Getting into this soul thing, this union with another person, right?
Yep.
Soulmate.
Yeah.
Like we dive into this thing, we gotta ask ourselves, what is the soul?
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And then we gotta ask ourselves, what is a mate?
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So man, we're gonna dive into this.
Use
Hold
the
on, let me
iPad.
get my feed, the tripod real quick.
Yeah, we working with our tripod. Give us a second.
Where you got that from, New Orleans, babe?
Okay. We're making it work, making it work.
Look, we gotta, man, I'm talking about, we just got back about 3 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, trying to get it in, man, and then it's funny, man, like, you leave your kids and you be like, man, I'm missing my kids, I'm missing them. God dang, I miss them so much.
Yeah.
The minute you get back, they just so.
They ready to break you back in.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
I was just gonna say,
Right.
yeah. Then you be ready to. But we got another. We gotta get something going so we can leave again.
We hired our babysitter until 9, so it's really been, we've been really pressing in so hard to the point where we're willing to start hiring nannies to come and help us, because we feel the pressure that's on us for the mission that we incarnated here to do.
Yeah.
So, that is causing us to have to step outside of our comfort zone, and nobody wants to hire nannies through online, especially if it's not something you used to doing. But we did that tonight because it's absolutely special what we're doing. So yeah, we got her into 9. So let's try to pack in what we can, and because I don't know what they overage charges look like.
She gonna fool with us. She gonna fool with us.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Like the chaos is in full effect.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what these kids are. They chaos being. Let's get it in, man.
Yeah.
So look, Ernest and Cam, this is what we're gonna start with, because we wanna understand. See, I found y'all, right? I seen y'all and I'm like, wow, this is a powerful couple.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They building together, they giving up experiences of understandings on their journey and how this thing all plays out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching y'all videos and everything, and I'm like, wow, I would love to talk to them and build with them, because they have something that the community needs to understand.
Yeah.
This soulmate thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This understanding of one another. But before you understand someone else, you have to understand yourself.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. So you want to start with how the journey started? You want us to start there?
Yeah, let's get it in, man. Let's get it in. Tell us how y'all's journey started, and then how it kind of formed into a beautiful soulmate journey.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, we knew each other for 9 years.
Yeah.
So, I was a holy hip hop rapper, and he was a holy hip hop rapper.
Yeah.
So we were in the same circles, in the same studios, at the same concerts. It was just really, really crazy. But from day one, I was like, I want him. So he was married. Then he got divorced. He got remarried. And the whole time, I'm just feeling drawn to him and didn't understand what it was. So one day, I saw a flyer and he was performing at a church downtown. And so at this time, my first daughter was 9 years old. And I said, I went and picked up from school, and she was like, where are we going? I was like, don't worry about where we going. Just ride. So we get to the church, and he performed that day. So as we're leaving, I told her, I was like, that's going to be my husband. And she was just like, Mama, I can really see that. 9 years old. She's like, I can see that. So I went home, and I wrote it down. I wrote down everything I wanted my husband to be, from physical appearance to attributes, sexual experiences, spirituality. Like, I didn't miss nothing. And I was a Christian at this time. That's all I knew. So, give or take, probably 4 or 5 years go by, and we just have this very platonic friendship. But I would dream about him at least 2 to 3 times a year. And so this is how we would end up talking and chat on the phone. I would dream about him on a call. I was like, hey, crazy. I had a dream about you, yo. He was like, really? So the very last dream that I had about him was in 2015, the beginning of 2015. And in the dream, he was a tribal leader. And he was dressed in a tribal leader garb. And he had a lot of children around him. And so he was just like, that's really deep. So I said, you know what? I don't know why I dreamed that. I know that you're married. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but maybe we should do a Bible study, because I was the type of girl, it didn't matter what the dude, how he was. He could be a hood dude. He could be in a trap house. We finna have Bible study. That's how I was. So he came over. We having Bible study. And so I had just broke up with the guy that I was engaged to. And we had just had a baby. So we're sitting there having Bible study, and my baby is sitting in the middle of us. And he says to me, my wife had a dream that I was with another woman and she had a small baby. And I said, really? And again, I'm not even thinking about anything really. Like, I really just wanted to have Bible study with him because I could feel his spirit was low.
It wasn't nothing like. We wasn't even looking at each other like that. Well, to the best of my knowledge, we wasn't looking at each other like that. Yeah.
But it was definitely something there, and we just realized the dream his wife had was the setup
situation.
Right in that moment. We looked at the baby at the same time. Was like, I said, we were sitting on the couch. What color was the couch? It was shit like that, and it was just silence from that point forward. We didn't even know what to say. It was really crazy. And my daughter just took to him. Like, I'm gonna post a picture. This was the very first picture him and her took together. Y'all, you can see the alchemy there. She belonged to him. She was his, and it came through his wife. So they got divorced, because I've never been the type to. I don't move like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to make sure, on a karmic level, that what comes back to me is not because I sown it. Maybe it's just a lesson for me to learn, but not because I sowed that seed.
Right.
So him and her got divorced.
Well, let me add too.
It was another dream she had. You had. Y'all went to a concert together, and she didn't want to be with you.
Right.
So he was dreaming too.
But now at the whole point of this going on, what she's talking about, we was in this stage of, we had already decided that this wasn't it. And so when she offered for me to come to Bible study, that was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And the dream that I ended up having, which was crazy, was like we had went somewhere, and it was like we was at some type of concert. And don't ask me why we was at a concert, but it was like we was all at a concert. A couple of old friends from high school was in the dream that came to me. And while we was there, I remember it was like she was dancing, having a good time, and interacting, and up on other dudes and stuff like this. And I was like, "Come on, let's go." And then she was like, "No, I don't want to go." And being the person that I am, like, okay, all right. So I let a little bit more time go by. Then I went back again, and I was like, "Come on, let's go. It's time for us to go." And she was like, "Nah, I'm not going. You can go." And from that point, I just went on by my business. And fast forward, I come to realize, to interpret that dream, that was just us parting ways with each other. You know what I'm saying? And it was amazing when me and Cam started dealing with each other, because I didn't have those restraints. Again, like I say, it wasn't like
because you were sleeping in another room. They were sleeping in different rooms at that point. They were separated.
Yeah, and so when we started interacting with each other to that extent, because she had a talk show, her and another friend of hers, they had a podcast, and she would let me know, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna be on and we're gonna be talking about this, and I'll check the show out, and I was a fan of the show and everything. And so when she gave me the invitation to come to the Bible study, I was like, okay, you know, cool, because this is a very intuitive, insightful, knowledgeable sister, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, yeah, we can definitely chop it up, you know what I'm saying? And so going, I remember sharing that dream, and then, like she said, when I shared that dream that she had about me and another woman with a small child, mind you, when she told me that, I was like, another woman with a small child? Like, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I didn't even, that wasn't even on my radar at the time. You know what I'm saying? And so when we end up having that Bible study and we shared those dream experiences, it was just like, we were just in awe.
Y'all end up having that Bible study, huh?
That Bible study.
So, that's real interesting. So y'all kind of grew into this spirituality, and
we definitely did.
Together.
Let us know how that started.
Yeah, the first thing that happened was we got into being Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah.
So because after we got together, we started realizing that we knew we didn't want to get married straight out the gate.
Yeah.
That's how he was used to moving, and that's how the traditions were.
Mm-hmm.
So I had never been married, you know. And again, I had always kind of been.
We always ask questions.
Yeah.
We ask questions. It don't matter what it is. It's like we just question everything.
Yeah,
like,
I definitely was rebellious.
Why is that? Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
So I was like, I don't want to get married, but I want you to move in.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, really? I was like, yeah, because he was living with his mom at the time. And I was like, you and your son pack y'all stuff and come move in with me and my daughters. Mm-hmm. And that's just how it went down. And so he came with his stuff, and his folks was, I can remember, it was crazy. His folks was like, what is going on? They didn't understand. You know, they felt like we was moving too fast.
Yep.
But when Twin Flames,
they always feel like that.
That's true.
In every relationship I had,
that's true.
It was like, you moving too fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So his relationships would always end after 5 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's make it for 5 years before we decide to take vows. You know what I'm saying? It was that sort of thing, because I realized it was a curse for him.
Yeah.
So, okay, fast forward. So Christianity is not resonating anymore, because we're asking more questions now that we're together, and we're challenging the shit that we was told. I'm sorry, y'all, I got a potty mouth. But we're challenging the stuff that we were told to do.
Yep.
So we become Hebrew Israelites, and we got into that because Christianity was not explaining to us the significance of melanated people.
Right, our place.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we started, we were like part of the GOCC, I would say. We studied with them. I mean, avidly studied with them. I changed the way I dressed, my hair. We changed our diet. We changed our whole lifestyle. And you can see all of this on YouTube.
Start observing the holy days and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. We went hard for it. And
just like we went hard in Christianity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think what helped us was the first question that came to me, because I've always been psychic and I have always been a witch. I have always been, yeah, yeah. It's crazy, but honestly, I've always walked in between worlds. I've always been able to see the shadow people very easily. I've always been able to see fairies. Like, even through being a Christian, I still was having those experiences. And so I had 2 near-death experiences. And so that really does give another element to me and my soul and who I am. So I decided to come back here twice after flatlining. Medical records can show it to you. Died. So my intuitive gift was telling me the questions to start asking the GOCC teachers. So we were presenting these questions to them, and they couldn't answer us. And Ernest was like, "Well, who is Elohim? Why is it talking like the God is plural and who created us, and the them and the they?" And they couldn't answer it. And then the next question was, "Well, who is Israel?" And they were like, "That's the chosen people." But I'm like, wait a minute. So one day I just wake up and I said, "Wait a minute, babe. Isis, Ra, and Elohim makes Israel." That was the beginning right there. The very first person we found was Dr. Bay and Bobby Hemmett. And that was it. After that, I was just like, I'm done with this shit. I can't, like, this right here, babe, I can't do this no more. I'm not going to rush you. If it still resonate with you, it's cool. But I'm just letting you know, I want to study metaphysics. And he?
No, I was already like, that's what it was. Yeah. I didn't have any hang-ups. It's a programming that we didn't been in, and so you still got little residuals that you have to work through and recognize and then help to dissolve. But other than that, no, I was realizing even when we were Hebrew Israelites, I'm looking back at stages to it. When we Hebrew Israelites, I'm looking back at Christianity like, why was we doing that? Why we go to church on Sunday? Why, and I was an ordained minister in the church, so,
Woo! So y'all can imagine what his folks was feeling.
Yeah, so like, for me, when I had those questions and those questions couldn't get answered, basically every time I'm addressing something and you can't give me nothing definitive on it, that's a stamp, and it's like, okay, no, no, and it just began to stack up, and I'm starting to get into metaphysics and realize, and then once we got into metaphysics, we was looking back at being a Hebrew Israelite and realizing that it's still religion. You know what I'm saying? And so, we got to the place to where we realized that we just got to reprogram the way we think.
Yeah.
And we got to let go of everything that we thought we knew to be true. You know what I'm saying? Without any judgment.
And we challenged the big dogs, and I'm not even calling no names, but I was at the point where I was like, if we wrong about this, then let's test it and see.
Yep.
And so we don't want to name names, but they some big dogs. They the kind of people where they rappers in the Hebrew Israelite community. You know how real strong they are about what they believe. We had these debates with them, and they we was shutting them down left and right, and I was like, oh shit, baby, we own something. So yeah, that's how we got into metaphysics. And our very first ritual was sex magic. Actually, it was the very first thing we did straight out the gate. It was like, let's just go all the way.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, you gotta get it in, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know y'all shit, man. Where y'all from, man?
We from Memphis. Both of us from Memphis, born and raised. Yeah.
Damn, babe, what the hell was we just watching that had Memphis in? Because there's some spiritual things happening right now. What was that, babe? You remember?
No, I don't. I'm trying to think.
Damn, what the hell was we just watching?
It's definitely a lot going on in Memphis.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah.
I can't think of it at the moment, though, babe.
God dang.
What I do want to say is that y'all's story and how y'all got into y'all's relationship is a very unique one. But like we were discussing yesterday at the Brother Panic lecture, there's always this like we all know, this spirit that's always orchestrating our steps. And it may come, like Cam said, you could have easily been like, nah, he can't be it. He can't be it. He got this going on.
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. And then vice versa, Ernest, you could have been like, she got this, this can't be.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you surrender what you think you know and what you think it's supposed to be, and you go based off of that deep intuitive feeling, it works out. Like our egos, and this for my people in the chat, you know, who be wanting soulmates and all of that, your ego may be blocking the person that's divinely for you because they got a situation that doesn't align with what you ideally think. Supposed to be.
That's
like
true.
Panic made a joke yesterday. He was like, your soulmate may be a stripper right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you passing her and him up
true.
every day because you have this idea on how they are supposed to be and how they're supposed to come into your life, and it's not about that.
That's so true.
We totally agree with that because we could have been got together, but every time he would break up with a wife, he would get back with somebody else, and I would just happen to get with somebody else, and we realized we was doing it like in the same time frames. It was crazy. But those were karmic relationships that were necessary to prime us for this relationship. So another element that makes it really unique is that we're twin flames, but we're twin flames and we're soulmates. And that's really rare. And so a lot of people are like, well, what's the difference? A lot of people don't know what the difference is. So from our experience and our journey, we started off twin flames because twin flames it don't have to be romantic, but this is just another soul that ignites an alchemical transformative feeling in you. And it manifests itself. There's usually a strong connection, but then you trigger each other.
Right.
So if they become a mirror to your soul. So he was showing me my soul. I was showing him his soul. And then it was just really crazy because time would collapse. We knew it was something. Time would collapse when we would get together. And it's like time would just stand still. I was just like, and so this when I came up with it, I was like, you know what? Whatever's going on between me and you spiritually, it impacts time. And it was like we were time traveling. And we were going back and healing old wounds and pulling up old wounds.
I'm talking about it was crazy. Definitely phenomenal because from the onset, the more and more we were around each other, we was just calling out synchronicities left and right. You know, those I mean, to this day we still do the same thing, but initially coming from being in relationships that wasn't it, when you know that it's not it, you know what I'm saying, and then coming into a connection and relationship with a person that is like, you can finish my sentences, I know what you're thinking, we thinking the same thing, you know what I'm saying, from one thing to another. It was like, man, it was just like when you shuffling cards and they just go back together, you know what I'm saying? It was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah.
But we triggered the hell out of each other.
Oh yeah, we did.
You know?
We did.
I don't know if y'all know about Memphis music, but we had this song called Trigger Man. Dun 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 dun, rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a, boom.
I think they know Trigger Man. That's a classic. Yeah.
And that's how it was. It was so crazy. We had times where, especially him, he was like, I can't do this. This is too much. It's overwhelming. I don't know what's going on. I can't do it.
I can't do this. Yeah. But, you know, that's what we learned as growing into soulmates, understanding that we're soulmates and growing as twin flames. That, man, if you don't do it now, it's still gonna be there. Like if you don't work through your issues now, where the issues going? They're not going nowhere. You still gonna have issues. And so it's a matter of every time that I sit now, as hurtful as it can be, every time that I was like, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, she knew that I was in a more traumatized state at that point than she was, because I had never dealt with any of my shadow aspects. I had never dealt with anything as far as what's making me tick. Coming into the knowledge of self was something new to me upon us getting together. You follow what I'm saying? And so she had already been working on a lot of those different things even as a Christian, you know what I'm saying? And it's amazing. But yeah.
So that was definitely about to be my question, because whenever we talk about being triggered, we're talking about on this path in relationships, being able to reflect on our past trauma and understand why we react in the ways that we react. And that's the whole point of the soulmate.
Yeah.
Get it? That's the whole point of the soulmate, for them to show you things that are affecting your soul, to allow your soul to be transformed by the physical work, the spiritual work, and the soul work that you put in here. So how did you see Camson? Because he just said you weren't as traumatized in those moments, or you've been understanding that shadow work. How does the shadow self manifest in relationships, and how do you cultivate the patience to work with each other? Because once we realize that, okay, this triggers me, this is a part of our shadow self, you have that experience, but then after that becomes the work, because you can continuously be triggered and you can continuously respond the same way.
That's right.
But the shadow work is observing that and deciding to do something different. Y'all tell us your experience with that.
Well, for me, I had already been doing shadow work because of the radio show that I was doing. And I actually lost this best friend that was like, to be how I am now, that was a relationship that dissolved, but we were on the path to working out our shadow aspects. So I had a lot more trauma actually than he had, but my tolerance was a lot higher for triggers. And so I realized that when he was triggered, this came to me in meditation. I had a meditation, and in the meditation, this is when I first started dealing with goddess energy. And they were like, this is what you need to do. When he's triggered, we want you to love him as if he's his inner child in that moment, because he is. Don't look at him and see a grown man behaving like a child. In that moment, energetically, he is a wounded child. And that was so hard for me, because I always, like, I had to be like this strong Black woman. You know what I'm saying? I had been through so much: rape, molested, abused, selling drugs, going to jail. Like, I mean, every movie you could think of, I had lived that life. So I took on a lot of masculine energy. And so it was calling me to be more feminine with him and nurturing. It was so hard. Like, I would tell him, like, people, even my oldest daughter, be like, "You so gentle with him. Like, this ain't how I'm used to seeing my mama deal with dudes," And so that really helped me a lot. And so I just stopped seeing him as an adult. And she, this was when I started working with Isis, actually. And Isis energy came in, and she was just like, "I need you to nurture him." And so this helped me to deal with his triggers. And his triggers would take him to the point of rage. He would be to the, I mean, oh my goodness, it's so crazy, because I would walk away, take a deep breath. Never, not one time have I ever cursed him out. Never, not one time have I ever called him a name. I mean, I think the love was coming through so pure that his soul was just like, surrender. This don't feel good, but this is love. She is challenging you to be your highest self. Surrender. So I had like this Kali energy, and I told him one day, I was like, "Dude, I've been slaying men my whole life. Like, egos cannot exist with me. I slay egos. Like, I'm beheading left and right with Kali energy. So you go get with it, or you go make it hard for yourself. But I'm not going nowhere. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna treat you how you treat me." And I was just like, I'm just gonna love the hell out of him, literally.
Yeah, that's good.
So you kind of have to have a warrior spirit.
Yeah.
That's so deep. And I feel like from the masculine energy to the feminine energy, so from male to female, I feel like that just, so you said, but I think that was before we got on here, or maybe when we got started, you said you was gonna bring some new spit And that's something that I've never heard before, but immediately when you said it, I resonate with it, and I feel it, and now I have a new mission.
Yes.
And when Dream and I are triggered, and babe, I'm saying that so that we do that for each other, because when we as women are triggered, we're little girls too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we both give ourselves that challenge, and people in the chat room, in your relationships, if we both give ourselves that challenge to see ourselves as that, it's so much easier for us to be compassionate with each other, and to be understanding,
patient,
and to be patient, and actually be what we're supposed to be, which is really helping us to transform. Because I can't be mad at this, that like you said, Cam, this nurturingness. Like, I'm mad, but damn, I'm being loved so well right now. Surrender. Release. Let go.
Yes. It's so powerful, and it's so precious. And I would tell them all the time, I was like, this is a mission. Like, we got a spiritual mission. This is not about a relationship. This is what's happening. This is how it was given to us, and it was so deep, and it scared us. And we didn't do YouTube videos for a little while because we was like, this a tall order. We don't think neither of us is good enough to do this. But what it is, we came together to heal the trauma in the Black family, in the bloodline of the Black family. And so the foundation is being rebuilt. And so in order for that to be done, we have to be sovereign. So that's why we didn't get married. We didn't get the white man's certificate, because that was putting us back into maritime law. We came to transcend maritime law.
Exactly.
And so another huge element that I would give for people who feel like they want a soulmate, twin flame, whichever one. The twin flame is just going to challenge you to be your higher self. Okay, the soulmate is going to help you be your higher self.
That's right.
So we just happen to have both. But another huge thing was, who is the 144,000? That was something that took us real deep. And so I just had been stuck on this 144,000. It just wouldn't let me go. And so one day I'm studying I'm studying yoga, and I'm studying the currency and how it moves through the body. And then I get to the nadis and these energy systems that flow through us, and it was 72,000 of them on the chart. I said, wait a minute. So if the divine masculine and the divine feminine is being brought together in the energy of Ma'at to have harmony and balance and be healed, the 144,000 is actually the twin flame soulmate mission on earth. Because when his 72,000 circuits come together with mine, we are the 144,000.
That's right.
So we are chosen.
Yeah.
That right there, just we hit Dr. Bay up. We was like, hey, like, I don't know if you ever heard anybody tell you this before, but like this is a big deal. And even Dr. Bay was like, yo, that's deep. You know? So it was really beautiful to discover that. Yeah,
that's good.
And see, that's one of the things, I'm gonna add this. That's one of the things that is hard to find in relationships at this stage, at this point in our lives, this point in society. It's difficult to find somebody who is willing to be with you and just work through your shit. Like, it don't matter if you single right now and you're looking for this type of relationship. You gotta be willing to be patient and just work through it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't begin to appreciate something unless you work hard for it. You know what I'm saying? When somebody just give you something easy, you don't have the same appreciation for it, if any, that you do when it's something that you had to blood, sweat, tears, crying, and actually go through it. You know what I'm saying? And so I would encourage anybody, if that's what you want, if you that type of individual, you know it's innate in you, and you want a loving, romantic, lasting relationship, and this is your lifestyle, and you know, then man, dig in. Be ready to roll your sleeves up and put a lot of time and a lot of dedication to it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, man. That's powerful, man. And just the energy y'all are bringing, and the interesting parallels that y'all have to go through to get to this part of y'all journey is really powerful.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about what y'all do independently. Like, you know, for instance, like me and my queen, right? Like we need this alone time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's alone time to get into ourselves, to get into our natural work, our own work,
Mm-hmm.
so we can, you know, understand self better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So give us a little bit about y'all own personal journey, and then we'll dive right back into this partnership.
Well, basically, the way that we work everything is, I mean, with us being in this twin flame soulmate dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
even though we know that, hey, like I gotta steal away and she has to steal away, we assist each other. And so she's always in position to help me to better myself, whether it's sharing different resources, sharing some things that intuitively she gets that she believes that will assist me and help me to continue to level up. Then that's what she does. And then I have to make my time to get away and to do those things in regards to meditating, in regards to just studying and becoming more in the moment, basically. And that's been one of the things that has been harder for me because I've had a shut down heart chakra, you know what I'm saying, and I had to get to the place of where now I got to be more in my heart. I had to be more in my heart space. I had to learn how to be more in the moment and go with the flow. I was the type of individual that would be so rigid on everything. You know what I'm saying? Oh, if it ain't like this, no. You know what I'm saying? And I would get frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And so those are some of the things as far as doing the shadow work that I'm doing myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's ultimately his responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, but I allowed myself to become his oracle.
Yeah.
I had to surrender and allow my heart to be his oracle, which means that I have to be able to emotionally be strong,
Yeah.
and to take a lot of shit sometimes, but to not take it personal, you know. And that goes back to you don't want to kill your ego.
Yeah.
You want to just master the use of the ego.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ego is like a low blow, you know? And a lot of people think to be in this type of dynamic, you got to kill your ego.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just want to be in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
You might need that ego.
Exactly.
You know, one thing that I want to say when he was talking about that was I'll find things that speak to me to resonate with his separate work, because he's called to help men. And so I be pushing him out there. You know, I assist him. I go out and find people who can be future clients for him and things like that. So I'm always available to him, even when I'm working on my own stuff and myself. So that's one thing that we do. And, you know, another major part of it is
being able to create this space.
Yeah. You know, we could be in the same house together, but we will still have our own sacred space. And we don't, you know, just always all over each other. Like when we need time, and because you'll get to a point there's no sexual polarity.
Right.
You'll start to feel like this is your best friend and your roommate, and you don't want to screw your best friend and your roommate. You know? And so in moments like that, it's like, okay, we just need to for a little bit. You know, and we would hear Bobby Hemmett talk about, you know, how you just need some time separate from each other. You know what I'm saying? And distance does make the heart grow. You know, it makes it, yeah. And so we definitely use that, but you have to do it consciously. Yeah. You have to consciously create sexual tension. You have to consciously create the polarity.
Yes.
You know, so if I catch myself being masculine, I have to consciously get in my feminine energy and be vulnerable with him, even though he's not being vulnerable with me. You know, and I tell people it's not gonna be perfect, but you know, it's gonna be up and down, but that's just how it works.
Yeah.
You about to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and that's part of in this process. That's part of the things that we learned about ourselves. One of the aspects about myself is that I would hold back. I hold back in a lot of different ways as to how I show that affection, how I are mindful to her needs. And then on the flip side, and that's what was triggered from her that I found out about myself. And one of the things that I triggered in her was the fact that she's always so giving. She's always so available. When in essence, she needs to, and she knows, she needs to dial back and be more focused on herself. And we can lose ourselves in, we got children, you know what I'm saying? So we about their needs, but then as a nurturing mother, and she's nurturing me as a nurturing wife, she gives, and sometimes that's where I come in and be like, no, babe, don't do this. You just need to rest. You just don't worry about doing nothing else. Take your time and get some rest. And then she expressed to me that, oh, that's that's so sweet. That's what I needed.
Yeah, you know, he can give me something nobody else has ever given me in those moments when he liked it, you know. So you have to make sure you communicate to them that you met a need. Yeah. You fulfilled something for me that I've never experienced in a relationship before. Yeah. And that way they know, okay, well, that's that thing that I can do, you know, when we get in that slump, because you go get in slumps. It just happens, you know, and it's not having judgment. We have something we created. We have a whole, y'all, we've been writing a book because it's been so freaking phenomenal what we've been going through. But we created something called honest moments. And so these honest moments is when, once you get the kids to sleep, you know, you might have to give them some Benadryl. I don't know about y'all's, but our kids got a lot of energy. Pull out some melatonin or something. Like, we gotta get them in the bed. Yeah. And so, you know, boil some chamomile and get some good old stress relief going. Come on, get some tea. But you know, so we'll have some time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm out for real.
Yeah, shoot, you got to.
Yep.
Put the lavender in the humidifier. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, and so what we would do, we soul gaze. This is when you feel the connection weakening. You want to soul gaze. And so I studied Kama Sutra when I was in high school. Like, I was so obsessed with sex in high school and college and when I was like a preteen. Honestly, that was my hustle in school. I would write poems for dudes for their girlfriends, and I would sell them for $10. And so that was my hustle. I was so good, it was crazy. And I was a virgin, but I just came knowing this stuff. So, you know, so what we would do, so I took that creativity. I was like, let me start creating things for us to do. And so we would sit we would sit in lotus position. And so I'm sitting on top of his lap, and I would wrap my legs around him, my arms around him, so all of our chakras are touching. And we lock eyes and do not let go. For nothing. Do not let go. And it's difficult to do. The very first time we did it, we couldn't stop laughing. I don't even know what was going on. It's just, I forgot too. It's just this weird feeling the first time you do it.
I mean, I ain't never done it with nobody else. So, like, yeah.
It's like letting somebody peer into your soul with a microscope. Like, there's nothing you can hide.
Yeah.
You know?
Like right here. And you just looking in each other's eyes. Yeah. And then as time went on, it got to the point to where we use that time to share some of our deepest and most intimate, you know, thoughts and things like that. And so it just cultivates a healthy bond. It cultivates the type of bond and connection that only just gets stronger in time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if anybody is in relationships and they want something to help increase the bond and take them deeper, I highly recommend the honest moments without judgment. That's when you can speak exactly how you feel and they cannot judge you. They cannot be vengeful and spiteful afterwards about it. It's like, if you want me to love you, I have to be able to be honest with you, without judgment, without us punishing each other later, you know, without us giving each other the silent treatment tomorrow. Like, if you do that, then you're telling me that you're not ready for this level, and I'm gonna dial back, which means you won't have access to the portal of the universe, the black hole. It's gonna be shut down for a little while, you know, because I need intimacy. You require physical intimacy, and it makes you feel better, but I need your intimacy and communication. I need to feel your heart and feel you. And if I can't feel your heart, why would I let you feel my body? Because that's me dishonoring the divinity in me. So I need you to respect the divinity in me, and then yes, I can respect the divinity in you. And so these were the things that Isis and Yemiya began teaching me. And so channeling them has definitely helped us to create this. And so what we're hoping to do is create this book that has these activities in it specifically for melanated couples who want to procure, this sort of dynamic.
Yes, y'all have to do it. I already feel it. I'm gonna be one of the first people that purchase it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For sure. No, it's good. It's great. It's what we need. But I have a question for y'all, because that was so good. And you heard it here first, but when you kept on saying intimacy, I had already wrote this down before, because I'm all into relationship study as well. But intimacy is into me see. And so that, what y'all just talked about, that those honest moments, you're right, it's intimacy, because into each other we are actually seeing.
That's right.
Intimacy.
This is when you can come together and say, look, babe, I'm really turned on by watching a dude on Power. I'm just gonna tell you, I've been dreaming about him the last 3 or 4 nights. I don't know what, babe, I'm just getting it off my chest. You know, this is no judgment. You know, because
so that's my question, and then I'm sure you're gonna go into it because, you know, some people don't necessarily know what a judgment is.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Some people don't know. Like, for example, Dream will be eating something and he'll want some more food. And I'll be like, damn, you fat. That's a judgment. I'm judging him because he's going in there and getting that
second or third.
Right? So subtle things like that. Talk to us about what judgments are within relationships, and how do we actually cultivate that vulnerability and that honesty within ourselves, so that we can express that honesty outward. Because everybody, well, first of all, I feel like everybody that people are in relationship with sometimes don't deserve that vulnerability.
That's true.
And that honesty. So, of course, here we're talking about soulmates, but what about, you know, prior to getting to that? Or what about when you're in your soulmate relationship, but you don't really know? How do people practice vulnerability, and how do people practice no judgment?
Well, like you said, there's some prerequisites to it, and we believe that first thing is you got to sort through all of the, you know, it has to be without a doubt, you know, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're on the fence about whether or not y'all gonna last, it might be an indication that that's not it. Because you'll see, if you're working on yourself spiritually, your counterpart, your partner, need to be working on themselves spiritually. And how can two walk together except they agree? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that thought. And so that has to be first and foremost, you know what I'm saying, together. As far as the judgment part, you just have to let go of how you know what I'm saying? It goes back to what we said. If you know what I'm saying, you come into something and you got all these preconceived thoughts and opinions about, well, it has to be like this and this is right, and oh, you think like that, there's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? No, you just got to let it go. The same way that we would want our children to be able to come to us and share anything. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's our smallest child to our teenage child, you know what I'm saying? Come talk to me. You know what I'm saying? And let me be your sounding board. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that. You gotta have that mentality, that approach.
Yeah.
And so when she come to me with stuff, like she said, sometimes it could be like, "Oh, you're my best friend," because I'm putting myself in that position to where, hey, you can tell me anything, and I'm not. It might be like, but I'm not gonna judge you for it because you are a unique individual and you got thoughts and you got feelings too, and how you may be feeling is how you feeling. You know what I'm saying? And it's vice versa. When and for us as men, that's a harder challenge. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not as sensitive emotionally to the point to where we express ourselves like that. Yeah. We keep a lot. I know I can speak for myself. I have been the one to keep a lot of stuff in. I just suppress it all. Thoughts that I have, no. And so coming into this type of relationship and really developing this part of it helps me to be a better person. It helps me to be more well-rounded because now I can express myself. There are times that I'll say how I feel, and she was like, you know, I felt that. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, I felt that, you know. And so that's a byproduct, or that's an effect of not being judgmental, because now that I know it don't matter what I say to her, it's not going to cause her to want to mistreat me or hold back from me, you know what I'm saying, or constrain anything, you know what I'm saying, or have any restraints about it. No, she's allowing me the space to be honest, to be open, you know what I'm saying, and then it's just something to talk about.
Yeah.
Once we share those things, then now we can talk about it, and man, you know, it'd be good.
Absolutely. This is the practice of sinking into your heart and getting out of your head.
Yeah.
So, you know, because I'm intuitive and I do readings and I'm an oracle, so I channel like this ancient mama water wisdom, which is why I can never read a book. And I'll comment on somebody's channel who I consider to be a guru, and they'll hit me back and like, yo, did you read blah, 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 blah? I'm like, no. Mm-hmm. Well, how did you know that? And I'm like, it just came to me, mm-hmm. you know? So, so I'll know stuff about him, and I'm like, okay, he had so much sugar in his body to where it was just messing his body up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, babe, you got to stop with the sugar. Yeah. You got to stop with the sugar. And he was just like,
yeah, the sugar give you odors. My feet would stink. You know what I'm saying? Just like, yeah. And never knowing that, hey, that's an effect of an imbalance in your body. You know what I'm saying?
And I would go a year sometimes, just burning incense, being patient, you know, and just finally like, okay, babe, we got to do something. It's been a year. So it takes that long suffering.
Yeah.
When it's your soulmate, you can long suffer. Long suffering is not as hard as it is as when you're in a karmic relationship.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so even just recently, and we shared this on our live, it's just some stuff that came up that I've been carrying for a long time and I hadn't said anything. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to our business, he wasn't as motivated as with his family business that he has with his parents. Mm-hmm. And I called him out on it, you know, and I was like, I asked you to do something for the business, and I get a lot of resistance. Mm-hmm. But I'll talk to you, and like for the family business, they didn't put so much on you, you overwhelmed, you know what I'm saying? But you never have resistance to them. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was a shadow aspect that
I was speechless. Yeah. Because it was so true, and it hit right there. But again, that's being able to be in the place of, it's an honest moment. You can tell me how you feel. I'm not going to get offended, and I'm not going to pass judgment. Oh, you trying to come between me and my family? No, ain't nothing like that. Because I know that what we have is just, man, it's more important, you know what I'm saying? Because this is the legacy that we trying to build and leave for our children. You know what I'm saying? And so it just come from being able to say, you know what? We got judgment-free, honest opportunities. You know, we here for each other.
And I want to say one more thing that I think is really important. Hopefully, time slow down for us. Come on, y'all, pull the time and make time go slow so we can get it in, because I know it's juicy.
We out of the circle of time. You already know what it is.
That's it.
But I just want to say the thing that's very important to realize is that sometimes you can discern something, but you don't have to call it out as soon as you discern it. Mm-hmm. If you discern something and you call it out as soon as you discern it, then that is past judgment. Mm-hmm. But if you sit on it and if you take it to the ancestors and you talk to them about it, look, I ain't talked to him about this yet, but help me to make this be an easy process. You know what I'm saying? Help his heart to receive this truth, because it's coming from a place of love. So I would say to people, before you have those honest moments, make sure that you go to your ancestors, do your workings, do your candle magic, do your baths, make sure that you're ridding yourself of any negative energy, so that when you approach them, they can feel the spirit behind what you're bringing to them.
That's right.
And so that's very, very important, is implement your ancestors to help us, because a lot of the pitfalls that they had, they don't want us to have them. Right. And so these are things you can petition them for help for, and feed them and nurture them, and give them the energy to nurture you, rebuilding the family and changing the dynamic and healing the bloodline. That's something that's very important. And one other thing, I know it's a lot, but I'm telling y'all, we've really been pressing in for this show. One other thing I wanted to say, as far as like doing magical workings, I think that's important. Something people don't talk about in the woke community.
Right.
We do workings on each other.
Yeah.
We do our magic together.
Yeah. We do it together and we do it individually.
Yeah. But it's always open. Yeah. Yeah. I got jars, I got honey jars on him, and he got them on me. So it's like, when you surrender to that point where you will know somebody doing a spell on you and you cool with it, like that's epic bliss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just untapped.
And the only thing that we've done is we say, okay, just make me aware of it, because that way I can align my energy with what it is you're working and doing, and vice versa, so it can manifest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know she ain't doing nothing, you know what I'm saying, that I ain't gonna want. And I ain't doing nothing that she ain't gonna want. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So that's another element that I think is gonna save the Black family.
Yeah.
It's going back to our roots.
Yeah.
Because this is why Hispanic girls keep their man. This is why we see the East Indians in these happy ass relationships, and it's like, why the Black family so messed up? Like, you see little Asian people and they be so happy, they be in Walmart like hugging and just happy and stammer skipping down the aisle and shit, like, what's going on? And it's because they have not been as far removed from their language culture and their spiritual practices as we have.
Right.
And so if the Black relationship and the family is going to evolve from where we are, you have to practice your spirituality of your roots together as a family.
Yep.
You cannot skip that. You cannot get in a twin flame soulmate, nothing, and skip these parts. You just go invite more chaos into your life. And the purpose of the chaos in a twin flame is to break your heart open, to split it open in pieces, because like even in Christianity, we had to guard our heart. Y'all remember that? You got to guard your heart.
Yep.
That stuff messed us up, because even though your heart is guarded, there's a wall in between your heart chakra and your experiences. And so everything that you're manifesting in your life is going to be in this guarded.
It's going to hit the wall.
You have to allow your heart to break open.
Yep.
So this has not been a perfect relationship. He done cheated. He done cheated, and I nearly cheated, and I'm like, babe, did you do something? No. 2-3 months. No. And it's just that long suffering and patience. And then it's the confidence. I have so much confidence because I know who I am, because I've been working on myself. That helps too. You have to build up your confidence. You have to find out who you are. What is my past life? Get your readings, do your astrology, get your natal chart, like learn yourself inside and out. And then you'll find yourself becoming resistant to the things that maybe would have broke you in the past. It didn't even make me want to break up with him.
Yeah, because I believe she saw it as, it's not me doing it to her, it's me doing it to myself.
Absolutely.
Because that comes from a broken place when you have something of high value and high worth and you abuse it and you mistreat it. And I'm talking about myself, let alone her, because I'm a mirror reflection of her and she's a mirror reflection of me. Self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I was like, you're not gonna push me away from you. That shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing to me.
It's like that fish, you know, if y'all know about fishing, that's when you fish and you pull that fish out of its environment and it's steady flopping. You know what I'm saying? It'll flop for a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because you done pulled it out of its environment and that's all it knows.
Yeah.
And so being in those relationships that wasn't edifying and wasn't causing me to level up, guess what? When it was times where it would be like, oh, this don't feel right. This don't seem like it's flowing. This don't seem like it's going. Well, the thing that I knew to do was, okay, well, let me find something that's going to be easy and that works like that. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, but I've grown to of course, grown and matured to know that, man, that is so fruitless.
Absolutely.
That's sabotage. Yes.
Powerful, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow Camson and Ernest on Camson. The link will be in the description. I want to say that before we don't share the share y'all page. But yeah, this is, man, powerful insights, powerful build.
Yeah.
And man, how long y'all been together, Camson and Ernest?
Now I'm going since 2015. Yep.
5 years.
Yep.
We almost out of the curse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It resurfaced recently, and I was like, okay, this is that 5-year curse. I'm seeing the behavior and the patterns. Like, we're not doing that. We're not breaking up.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
And I took a red lipstick and wrote on the bathroom mirror. Our bathroom mirror is huge. I did take a picture of it. Yeah. And I wrote red lipstick on his side of the mirror. I am not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And so
and then go ahead.
Yeah, because he was asleep when I did it, so he didn't know.
Yeah.
And this is the creative stuff that the divine feminine and tapping into the right side brain to tell you to do, and it just triggers healing in him. Yeah. You know, and I want to add one more thing, but it's funny because when he woke up and saw it, he drew pictures of my lips to a bullhorn, screaming it to him, and he drew a heart and like muscles in his arm, like, you're making me stronger and you're building up my heart. It's real cool. Yeah. Sound like some movie shit, but you know, it really happened. And but I wanted to say, with the energy of Isis is really, really good to work with to build you up to this point, because she's all about transformation. She's all about rebirth. She's all about death. She's all about remothering. And a lot of men need to be remothered. That they had a toxic relationship with their mothers. You have to clear that. Yep. You also have to clear the energetic cords between you and your past relationships. Yep. And so there are shadow contracts that are making the relationships difficult and making it hard for you to come together in a union with a twin flame or soulmate. And so you want to dissolve those contracts. So things that you said in your past relationship, like, I never let a man do that to me again. I never give that much of me anymore. Like you created this contract. You got to cut that. Yep. You have to write a new contract, write a new script, change your story. What is your self-talk with your soul, with your highest self? And the more you do that, the more you eat high vibrational foods, the more you do the breath work, you do the yoga, you dream journal, you practice self-love, your soul becomes just so grounded into your body that it's not nothing you can't do. Yep. As far as love. Yeah. And so that is the highest form of love, is to give it to yourself. And then you don't have to press it out to someone else. It just exudes you.
That's right.
You know? And so one last thing I want to say, the mythology of Isis, Osiris, and Horus, that's literally us in so many ways. We've seen so many synchronicities. It's mind-blowing. Even for the fact that we live in Memphis. You know, I graduated from the school, our mascot was the pharaohs. My birth name is Camson, which is Egyptian. I can keep going and going and going. So it's a lot of alignments, and we come from that lineage, and this has come through very, very highly respected priestesses that have done readings on us. And so we incarnated into this life together, and we even look alike. People are like, y'all even look alike. It's just weird. Like, you look like sisters and brothers, you know, you look like twins. But Isis told me, she says, Camson, he has to be remothered. His wounds began with his mother. And I was like, well, I don't want a son. I want a husband, you know? And she was just like, well, my husband died. I put him back together and he was reborn as my son. She said, let me explain to you what that means. That is an alchemical transformation of a relationship. So I took this man who I saw as my equal, and I became the nurturer to him, so that his soul and the fragments that were broken apart by the things that broke him could come back together again. By finding his phallus for him and rebuilding him. This is me rebuilding his ability to be a co-creator with me. And the reason he was my son, and I know it seems sick to y'all because it's like she with her son. She was like, no, it's because I was remothering him. I was loving him the way a mother would. And that is the mythology of Osiris, Isis, and Horus. And I was just like, wow. So he's coming from Osiris becoming Horus in his healing. Absolutely.
Yep.
Powerful.
Very powerful.
Man.
Yep.
Cam said and Ernest. Wow.
Yeah. What,
yeah, I'm shocked. I'm at a loss for words.
That was it.
Well, yeah,
no, but it's magic because you do have to do these things with, with your partner. Like, you have to be honest, be naked with your partner.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Bear it all and front these traumas and this hurt and this turmoil, whatever is holding you back.
Yep. You do.
It's being your greatest greatness.
That's right.
Becoming that God, being that you should. And man, it's such a magical thing because I can actually see that when, especially how y'all explaining it, and y'all work in something that me and my queen did, because I'm talking about we do our own separate work, and then we do our own relationship, spiritual work, where we're on each other, and we're actually building.
That's it. That's good.
The cosmic bomb that's like, that's like eternal, forever, and just an understanding of what love really is. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The stuff we have, the rituals we done on each other's bodies is just one thing. But just the stuff we have around our home, just symbolizing love and just an amazing thing.
Yep.
Man, powerful. And see how all this thing lines up, because man, there was something about y'all. I was like, I have to get them during Valentine's Day.
Yep.
We excited to do it.
Yeah, we
was.
was.
This thing that we, that American. And did y'all say y'all had 5? You said y'all had 5 things that y'all wanted to expound on for the family.
We kind of been integrating them the whole time.
Yeah.
I know. I kind of knew that. I was like,
yeah.
Shit, these are some bombs right here. If y'all got 5 more, we can
honestly, we've been holding back. We've been holding back because we want to test this stuff over and over and over and make sure that it's bulletproof when we share it with other people. That's just the level of integrity we want to have as we build. So we're moving in that direction. It is a lot more. I would say this, it's gonna become more popular. This sort of thing is not gonna be so taboo. So you have like Dree and Kevin Gates, who did the interview, Dreka, and they're talking about how he's like, she built me, and Ernest sent it to me and was like, yo, this is crazy. It sounds like the conversations we have. And so one last thing I want to say that I think is really, really important. Thank you. Okay, my guys is like, you got to say this before y'all get off. But ladies, especially for the ladies, if you're in a relationship right now, whether you not sure if he's your karmic, your twin flame, or your soulmate, just honor your temple. Okay, honor your temple, because there are times, because I've had sexual abuse, and because I've been, and a lot of Black women have. It's not unusual in our community. It's just not talked about,
right?
Because there's a lot of shame wrapped around it. But because of those experiences, there are times where when he's not conscious energetically, he's not in his body. Right. It's something else in him, and I can feel it. Yeah. So he could be having thoughts that were from a program from his mom disciplining him, and he could be stuck in that vibe, in that mood. And if he's like that and he touches me, I don't feel him touching me.
She feel that.
I feel her. And because I read energy, and most women do, and you're like, I don't know, like, I don't even know. Babe, I'm really not feeling it right now. And I would say, just stop and take some breaths and get back in your body, because men have a tendency to leave their body because they're so in their head and they're so analytical and left brain. This does not come natural for them. And so I have to tell him, babe, when you get back in your body, we can work it out. But right now, this energy that's coming through is creepy. You know, like, it's creepy. And so, ladies, don't be so hard on yourself when you get like that, because 9 times out of 10, your man in that moment is not owning his energy. He's not scanning his energetic body, his subtle bodies, to see, where am I? How am I feeling? Right. How am I behaving? What is in my auric field right now? Because, and I could feel shit jumping in him. And I'm like, this not you. Like, no, I'm not finna, no, we're not finna do nothing. Right. Like, And so that was something really big for me, because I was feeling bad. I'm like, dang, I thought my sex drive was pretty normal, you know, and all of a sudden we're in this slump, but it was because he wasn't in his body.
My energy,
Yeah, that was actually one of my questions, the sixth sense with your partner. Because me and D-Ray, I kind of had this intuitive vibe on, you know, what's going on with her. When she's mad, or when she's, you know, really excited or whatever. And, you know, even if she don't even say nothing, I could just feel a certain subtle energy that she does. Yeah. That I'm like, okay, bitch, I know what's going on. Shit, no, you can't play me. Yeah. So, you know, I know how to move around her, or I know how to, you know, kind of make the energy dissipate if she's in a certain funky mood or whatever.
Okay,
you know? Yeah, man, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Well, man, y'all gotta go already, for real though. Y'all tell me something. Do y'all gotta go for real, Cam?
What time is it?
What time is it?
It's 8:58, but I'm just saying, I don't want, you know.
You want to ask?
You said something about a babysitter at 9. I'm like, damn. I hope you know, I don't want to stop the flow.
Hey, we got plenty more where that came from. If you want to do a part 2, like, y'all family, like, from day one, I was just like, I don't know, well, y'all channel was new. Y'all channel got on YouTube way after I was there, but soon as I saw y'all channel, I was just like, that's family right there. I just felt the vibration. So we can do a part 2. We can get it in, like, we can get it however y'all want to go with it, you know, X-rated, wherever you want to go, we can go there and talk about it, because
I'm over here, like, you know how we are always being students and teachers all at the same time. So as I'm listening to y'all, I'm absorbing so much.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like
gratitude.
Yeah.
So it's gratitude. Part 2.
Power, such honesty, such what's the word, babe?
Transparency.
I didn't hear what you said at first.
Man, I can't even think of the word. Whatever.
Honesty, power, vulnerability. What?
Vulnerability. See how you supposed to finish my word? She's coming to the back door.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and I just love it, and I love it, and I appreciate y'all for coming on. Man,
thank you for having us, brother and sister.
Family. Follow the family. Any last words before y'all get off of here, Cam and Ernest?
Man, we definitely appreciate y'all, and we can't wait to do it again.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, you know I'm already thinking of a date.
You just let us know.
We could get it in.
Yep.
We can get it in.
You know, we had to do this late night service tonight.
Yeah. It was definitely worth coming to watch meeting, huh?
Yep. And I'm sure your viewers probably got a lot of questions and stuff for us. So even if y'all select some questions next time we come on.
Right.
Yeah, we can work through those. Yeah. That's
good.
Yeah, because we our goal is to help people to come into healthy relationships and grow. That's so important for healing to happen. And for all of these children with single parents to get to experience a balanced, harmonious home.
That's right.
That's so important. You know, Dr. Bay made a post and he was like, how do we change the world? Like, somebody come in and tell me, what can we do? And I was like, the children are the future. They need to see love. They need to see it.
Love. That's right. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Love it.
Yeah.
Man, y'all like and share the video. Cam and Ernest's pages will be linked in the description. If y'all ain't already following them, y'all go follow the family. Y'all know what time it is. We gotta spread this word, man. This thing is going down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because we're getting ready to release an ISIS ritual tonight, actually, after we get to the house. We finna shoot this ISIS ritual out. It's, oh my God, it's so powerful. I'm just so humbled that these energies will even transmit these messages to me to give for people to be healed. So we still got work to do after we get home. It don't stop. But you know, when your heart in it, it's all good.
I will be watching, trust and believe. I will be watching.
Absolutely.
Yes. Man, shout out to the Chaos family, man. Y'all know what time it is. We about to get up out of here, man. The late night edition of Sunday service.
Yes.
That's it.
Ashe.
Man, we gonna see y'all next time, family. Peace out.
Sounds good. All right, peace. Good night, everybody.
Man, hold on. Y'all don't go real quick. Wait.
Okay.
Let it be in the YouTube.
Okay.
Y'all dropped so many gems in that hour. It was amazing.